Hello class, today we are looking at angles at a point, supplementary and complementary angles again. So your essential question is, how do I find missing angle measures? Your learning intention. I am learning to identify vertical angles and find missing angle measures when angles are at a point. So you've got to warm up. This deals with vertical angles. How do you find all the angle measures? Pause the video and see if you can figure it out now. Well, I hope you tried. So the first thing you need to look at is, if this is x plus 77, what is this? Well, they're the same, so I can set them up equal to each other. 126 degrees is equal to some angle degrees plus 77 degrees more. When I subtract 77 from both sides, I end up with 49 degrees is equal to x degrees. So that's 49. Okay, so what about these two angles? We know that whatever they are, they've got to be the same. So I want you to take a minute and look at what you see in this picture. What figures do you see in that picture? Okay, intersecting lines. Now, the next question is, what do we know about a line? Well, it goes straight and it has how many degrees? 180. So this is 126 plus something gives me 180. So 126 degrees plus y degrees is equal to 180 degrees. We'll call this y degrees. So I subtract 126 from both sides. And y degrees is equal to 80 minus 26 would be 54 degrees. If this one is 54 degrees, we know this one is also 54 degrees because they are vertical angles and vertical angles are congruent. Okay, so let's look at the next picture. What do you see? If you said two intersecting lines, you are correct, and a ray. Now, we don't know what these are, but we do know that they have to be the same degree measure. So once I find one of them, I have found both of them. So let's cover up what we don't need to look at. Okay, when I cover this piece up, what do you see? You see a straight line. How many degrees are in a straight line? 180 degrees altogether. So minus 55 degrees. Minus 85 degrees equals, that'll give us this length right here. So that is equal to 40 degrees. This is 40 degrees and this is 40 degrees. Okay, now the next question is, what else can I do? There's two different ways of finding x. What are they? Which way do you see it? Okay, if I cover this up, I see that it makes a straight line. These two together create a straight line. I know how many degrees are in a straight line. I know that 8x plus 40 degrees will give me 180 degrees. So when I subtract 40 from both sides, eight x is equal to 140. I divide both sides by 8, and x is equal to 17.5. Okay, 17 and a half. That's one way of doing it. That's a perfectly acceptable way. How many of you saw the whole circle? The whole circle would be how many degrees? That would be 360 degrees. So I know that 8x plus 40 plus 55 plus 85 plus 40 again is equal to 360 degrees. These are all degree measures. Okay, when I add all of these together, 8x plus 220 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. When I subtract 220 from both sides, eight x is equal to 140. When I divide by 8, x is once again equal to 17.5. Okay, that shows you two different ways to find the x value. How you do it is what makes sense in your brain. Sometimes it might take a little longer, that's okay, but if it makes sense to you, that is the way you are going to do it. Okay, so the next two questions are about the supplement. So we have to think back to the definition of supplementary. Supplementary angles are what? They add up to how many degrees? What angle is the supplement of an angle whose measure is 125 degrees? Supplement means how many degrees? 180. They make that straight line. So 180 degrees minus 125 degrees will give me 55 degrees. You might have seen it as x plus 125 equals 180. That will work too. Okay, what angle is the supplement to an angle whose measure is 15 degrees? Same thing again. We know that supplement is 180 degrees. How do I set it up? How do I set my equation up? The same thing, only with different numbers. 180 degrees minus 15 degrees gives me 165 degrees. And that's what x is equal to. So supplement means 180 degrees. When you see the word supplement or supplementary, you need to realize that they add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so let's go to the next page. What angle is the complement to an angle whose measure is 17 degrees? Okay, what does the word complement mean? Complement means they add up to how many degrees? A right angle, 90 degrees. So how do we set up our equation? If one of them is 17, what does the other one have to be? 17 degrees plus x degrees is equal to 90 degrees. X is equal to 90 degrees minus 17 degrees, which is equal to what? 63 degrees. Okay, we did 2 with the supplement. You've got 2 with the complement. Can you pause the video, and find the complement of the angle whose measure is 72. You set it up the same way as we did the last one, only with different numbers. Well, I do hope you tried. So we know that 72 degrees plus x degrees equals 90 degrees. X degrees will equal 90 degrees minus 72 degrees. 90 minus 72 is what? If you said 18, if you got 18 degrees, you are correct. Make sure you put your little degree symbol on it because that is very important. Okay, so let's look at the next problem. We're going to find all the missing angles. I state there are two angles I can find without doing any math at all. Which ones are they? Pause the video and do a lot of think times on this. Can you figure out which ones I can find without any math at all? Okay, think vertical. If this one's 29, this one too is 29 degrees. No math at all. If this one's 90 degrees, this one also has to be 90 degrees. No math at all. Okay, now I'm going to look at this piece. If this is 29, how do I find B? I know that they form what kind of an angle? A right angle, which is 90 degrees. So 90 degrees is equal to B degrees plus 29 degrees. So 90 degrees minus 29 degrees is equal to B degrees. Okay, if you have a calculator, now is a good time to find that. So if it was 30, it would be 60, but it's one less, so this is 61. B degrees is equal to 61 degrees. Okay, what about this last angle? Is there any quick and easy way to do that? Well, what do you see? Two intersecting lines. If I cover up this much, I see that this angle and this angle create a line. So we've got 180 degrees is equal to, I'm going to put this as A degrees plus 29 degrees. 180 degrees is minus 29 degrees is equal to A degrees. Okay, subtract it, and what do you get? You should have gotten 151 degrees is equal to A. And we're done. Okay, now on the next one, there is only one way to find angle B. If we look, we could form that circle right here, and we know how many degrees are in a circle. 360 is correct. So 360 degrees is equal to 243 degrees plus 94 degrees plus B degrees. Now what? Well, I'm going to combine my like terms. 360 degrees is equal to 337 degrees plus B degrees. Now, subtract 337 from both sides and I'm done. Okay, so 23 degrees is equal to B degrees. So, your criteria for success. I know I'm successful when I can identify vertical angles and find missing angle measures when angles are at a point. So today we looked at vertical angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles, linear pairs. Okay, so those are the important things to remember. You need to start looking at our diagrams. You need to break it down. What do I see and what do I know about those different pieces? Geometry is all about the relationships that you find. So make sure you start looking for those before you start asking questions. Once you see the relationships, you'll be able to solve problems.